And just like that, the final episode of the recording session has begun. Welcome back to Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. I'm your host, MegaShadowFist. I suck at video games, I suck at commentary. When we last left off, we were, trying to take out Pearl Cyclox. So, the person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was Dahlia Hawthorne. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. Ah! It's just as I suspected. It wasn't Iris who Sister Bikini met at the Inner Temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of a woman Dahlia Hawthorne was?
No. I've never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions.
I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia is her sister. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it was asked you to channel the spirit of someone you'd never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. After all, you followed their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote this set of instructions for you to follow? This is the only reason I'm sure that they have Morgan Faye's profile to begin with. Pearls, I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you, that's why.
How did you?
I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Faye. Alright, Pearls, it's time you started telling me the truth.
Mr. Nagai!
Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this.
Don't underestimate me just because I'm a child!
Huh?
If you're trying to say I follow these instructions, I'd like to see some proof!
What?
Because I don't think you have any!
She'd say anything rather than admit to carrying out those instructions. I guess I have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, Pearls. We both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right, there's no evidence that proves it was you.
I know it!
However, I do know that whoever did it was a child.
Huh? How did you know that?
It couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that.
A simple mistake? What do you mean by that?
I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you'd been given. But you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it. We have the evidence, I guess. Let me see. Check. Be careful once nightfall, it should be there. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Leave everything up to her. Her name is the whole... Here's a picture of her. Use it when you channel her. I know you can handle it. Gravely roast the Gravely as in gravy! Roast the master in fires of Hades and bring our vengeance. Frickin'... She said, I think she mistook that for gravy. Alright, hanging scroll. It was you who splattered gravy on this hanging scroll, wasn't it?
Ah! What? Why would I do something like that?
Do you remember what was written in the letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring out vengeance to fruition. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast among other things, right?
How did you know that?
Remember the conversation you had with Miss Donim on the night of the murder? Perhaps we can read some books together.
Really? I'd love to! I'm not very good at reading.
Well, would you like to practice reading with me?
Miss Elise, so for example, how do you read this?
It says gravely. That's kind of a tough word. Sure, Miss Donium taught you how to read gravely and roast, but what she didn't teach you is what they meant. Gravely sounded like gravy.
Gravy sounded like gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was the food.
And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master and gravy from the night's pot roast.
To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get the wrong idea.
Just a tiny bit.
I really am useless.
Alright, here we go. Unlock successful. The night of the crime.
After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple with a pot full of leftover gravy.
The gravy?
I saw the picture on the hanging scroll near the secret cavern. I was sure it was the Master Kudai, like it said in the letter.
I see. And then?
Well, it was already way past 2 when I got there because of all the snow, so I went to the inner temple guest area.
The guest area?
Yes, I thought I could wait there until the training was over.
Why didn't you just go to the training hall?
Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started and I couldn't interrupt it. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then
Pearls, did you fall asleep?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I just couldn't help it!
Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? I fell asleep waiting for Iris too. It happens. Anyway, then you found yourself trapped at the inner temple?
Yes, when I woke up it was morning. I tried not to cry, but Dusky Bridge wasn't there anymore and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left because I overslept. I threw this letter to the incinerator and then I heated up the leftover gravy
and let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll while you cried. It must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. Nick used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school, too. That's because you're useless. Don't equate something so trivial with her experience, Larry. Lost powers. It was written
in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring.
So you channeled Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit?
No! I tried, but I couldn't do it!
You couldn't do it?
I've never felt her channeling someone! This is the first time it's happened! I tried! Yesterday, this morning, the whole time! But I just couldn't do it!
Don't let it get you down, Pearl! It'll all work out! Okay, so that completely debunks my whole theory of Pearl being possessed by Dahlia. Then who possessed her, then? You don't suppose that... Now that is weird. Perhaps... Huh? No, that's... I'm gonna keep that a thought bubble. If you want, I'll come flying through the sky for you! Whoosh! Just like that! So she never managed to channel the spirit. Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone?
Yes, I don't know what to do!
Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit?
I suppose there's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though.
Could you please tell me what it is anyway?
It could happen if someone else is already channeling the same spirit.
Oh, okay. Yep. Someone else? What do you mean?
Well, there's only one of each spirit, right?
Yep, it's like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see a hot chick if she's already taken. Then that would mean on the night of the murder, someone else channeled her spirit before Pearls could. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne.
I'm a failure! I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish!
Her final wish?
Yes, this letter! This is my last wish, she said, so make sure you follow the instructions carefully.
This letter. I definitely need to find out more about it. Morgan's letter.
My mother has gone to a place called a penitentiary.
Yeah, I know, Pearls. Penitentiary.
I visit her every month, and last month she told me...
You know, this is weird. This is the very first time. I'm surprised that it took all the way until this time for there to be two characters with the same voice in the same case. I mean, not counting Dahlia and Iris because they're twins, so I can sort of get away with it. I mean, but then again, Mia and Maya have the same voice too, so... But two completely separate characters. Anyway, the time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at her home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae Clan, It's for the good of the Fae Clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now, listen carefully, and I'll tell you where the letter's hidden.
My mother's always nice to me. I love her very much!
Yeah, moms will do anything for their kids, right?
She said it was for the good of the Fae Clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya's part of the Fae Clan, so it had to be good for her, too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick?
I guess so, yeah.
There was a picture with her letter, too.
A picture?
Of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually a picture's enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time...
Pretty weird, huh? Like Larry knows anything about this stuff.
There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before.
That sure is pretty strange. Someone had opened it already? Burnt letter updated in the court record. Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out.
You're very welcome. My mother's watching over us, so I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright.
Look at that innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Ha! Finally figured it out, have you, Trite? You finally realize how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious is. I suppose you have a point. Godot! The entrance to the Sacred Cavern looks like a freaking puzzle workshop. I guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-breaking effort. But it's all a waste of time. Why do you say that? Because Maya Fey isn't coming back. What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It was your job to protect her, Trite. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. I realize that, but... And you were the only one who was by their sides. You were the only one who could have saved them. But I didn't know anything about what was going on! Ha! What'd I just say, Trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. This is the new track. Tomorrow. We'll settle everything in court tomorrow. Once and for all.
Mr. Nick? Is what that man just said true?
It'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right! I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick!
My dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child, my Pearl. It's better that you don't know. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now you are to take the place at the head of the Fae Clan. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time. To be continued. Save clear stage chat up to this point. Yes, please. If you don't mind. Alrighty then. Get a drink of water. This was the end of the recording session, and my throat is getting a little hoarse. February 10th, 9:39 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1.
Good morning! Oh, are you by yourself?
Morning, Pearls.
Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen to Mystic Maya!
I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple.
Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall?
No, she's a defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court.
Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, it's kind of strange. Maybe that's Godot? If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. No, it's Edgeworth, okay. Edgeworth? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony to the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession. Or so I heard. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who do you think? Then who is? Who else would it be but Godot? Godot. Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern.
The Sacred Cavern? You that she's...
Exactly. She has been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. I know. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all of this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you passed your court on to someone else. Literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner.
We're partners! God, Edgeworth!
Thanks. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Donim. No, I mean Misty Faye. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. February 10th, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 7. Alright. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris at Hazakura Temple. Hey, what am I doing here? Wasn't the blonde judge supposed to be here, my brother? Your Honor? What are you... Who? Me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. My poor brother, he looked a bit pale. Not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. It is impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. I haven't had to do the judge voice in quite some time, actually, because the previous case is completely his younger brother, and the beginning of this case, the beginning trial session of this case was his brother too, so... Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. Coffee. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. So then you mean... forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime, but today she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Zakura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Iris, why didn't she discuss this with me first? Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something that you want to confess to?
Yes, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's alright. What is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Donim? So was it Dahlia? Or was it Iris who channeled Dahlia? That's why she says I was not the one who took her life, because it was Dahlia. And then... I see.
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place.
Maybe not?
After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mr. Glees.
Well, like, if Iris channeled Dahlia, that wouldn't explain why she was seen in two places, though. So, maybe not.
And carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it.
What? Order in the court, order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat. Ha! Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? That Godot. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Iris's testimony crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris is covering for someone. Now I'm definitely up to the creek without a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakudo Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakudo Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Kudain tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself if need be to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Kudain channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey.
Huh? Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite. Literally. She's naming... Maya?! Order in the court! So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer?
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her.
That's ridiculous! Maya could never do that! The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. Witness testimony, the real murderer.
I went to the inner temple that night and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a final strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
How did you know that it was a weapon? So it was in self-defense?
Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
Why would she try to kill her own daughter, though? You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected, isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night, and that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. The real murderer. If you don't mind. My voice is kind of gone for some reason. I don't know. It's alright. We say it, let's continue. From save point.
I went to the inner temple that night and I saw it all happen in the garden.
Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that, on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple. Did she now? Too bad for you, what she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go? It was in the inner temple's training hall. A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as heresy, or hearsay. What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder.
There, we all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor, I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff.
You're saying that the victim attacked Maya, I mean Miss Faye?
Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse. Hold on, just to be sure though, does it specifically say, no one knows this except Detective Gumshoe and I? Okay, we can't use that as evidence then. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse. What were you doing at that time? Why did you stop them from fighting? I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock.
That's perfectly understandable, my dear. This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute. What happened after that?
While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Miss Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike.
She moved in to deliver a fatal strike?
Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon.
Wait a minute! What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
A dagger, huh? And at least Donium tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Faye?
Yes, exactly.
Ha! You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony? There is one thing. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. You do? But this witness is your own client. Yes, well, nevertheless, that's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to this testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment! It's my job to say that! Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Okay now, let's continue.
She threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon.
And then?
Mystic Maya, she turned things around and then she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike.
Witness, are you absolutely certain?
Yes, but believe me, she had no choice. If Mystic Maya hadn't done something,
Maya Faye's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead. Yes, I see. This is bad. I still can't put the pieces together. Unless I find a contradiction in her testimony, Maya's gonna get blamed for this.
I only have this to say. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
So you're saying Maya Faye was the one who stabbed Miss Elise Donium? Sister Iris, is that really what you saw?
Yes.
Objection. Tisk, Trite. If your mug is filled with black and bitter suspicions, the only way to get rid of them is to drink them down quick. Like this! I know that's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't get it. There's only one thing you need to get, Trite. It's called evidence. Now hurry up, before my next cup gets cold. What does that mean? Is Godot waiting for me to point out the contradictions? I like to avoid the whole spirit channeling thing if I can. Not only would it be inadmissible as evidence, but I think it might actually hurt our standing with a judge. First, I need to pick her testimony apart and expose the unnatural sounding parts. I don't know why Iris would tell a story like this, but there are two things I noticed that just don't add up.
Two things, you say?
We'll fight on the next episode. No. Even though my throat is kind of hoarse right now and I can't properly do all the voices as well as I normally could, simply because I just sort of wore it out, I suppose. We still continue. Even though I need to mention this, it's 2020-2030, meaning that if I wanted to, I could end this at 30 minutes. It's not 2020-2040, it's just that, you know, like that's sort of like the de facto rule, not the de jure. I saw him basically strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Oh, hold on to that. Still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. She threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe. She threw her staff away?
Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon.
It's true! It's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff! Sister Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff.
Yes, that's what I saw.
Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright? Yeah, it's odd, alright.
Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with the dagger, I'm sure of this.
Tried desperately to defend herself and then stole the weapon. She threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe. But why would she throw her staff away if it has a sword inside of it? Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events.
Huh?
Miss Donium throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me.
But all you could do with the staff is hit someone.
Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword.
Ah!
If Elise Donium really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, can we just play the music already, please? She wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger.
Where's...
Oh, they're not gonna play like the... Oh, okay. I wanted to actually feel like I was... whatever. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trite. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A longsword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well... Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. But there is something strange about this whole testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Will we now? We're gonna save first, though. We're gonna save first. Suspending game. Continue. From save point. To back, now present evidence to back its argument.
Mr. Wright!
I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony cannot be trusted. Because Miss Elise Donium would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Because... We'll just present her profile, huh? Hold on. Elise Donium. Real name Misty Fey, Maya's mother, mastered the Kunai channeling technique. Elise Donium would never have attacked Maya Fey.
How can you be so sure?
Because the victim's real name was not Elise Donium. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey!
No! Not Mystic Misty Fey!
Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to... Misty Fey is a master of the Kunai channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey. Are you serious?
Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Donium actually the great Mystic Misty?
There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea.
I can hardly believe it.
The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years? Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Order in the court! Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, 1. That the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and 2. That the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable when taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible, except for one little thing. Yes, what is this one little impossible thing? Ha! You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. Could you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee. You're going to ruin my health, my friend. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime, and he discovered this little beauty. Huh, interesting. Is that a dagger that's the dagger the witness testified to seeing? Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something strange? Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be a bloodstain. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Huh? The pine tree? The dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree when the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women. This little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blood in this dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Ha! Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. What the heck? Didn't you say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice. In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Dagger added to the court record. Now then, let's check to see what it says. Found behind a tree in the inner temple garden. The blood is being analyzed now. The testimony we've just heard has numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Cute girls never lie. Ever. Well, that's a load of crap, but whatever. Dolly is living proof of that. In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court. Technically, Dolly's not living since she's a fictional character. Shut up!
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women.
Yes, Your Honor.
Witness testimony, the battle.
Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff, but then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
That was a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Missy's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore?
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. The battle. And we will end things off in the next episode, ladies and gentlemen. We'll continue things off in the next recording session. I'd be very surprised if like the next episode ended up being like the finale of the game. That would be very, very surprising. There's still so much left. I predict that we have about maybe 3 more recording sessions left for this game. 3 or 4. And then we'll be finished, actually, which is, I believe, anyway. That's kind of how I expect things to go with the way that things are being paced right now, and using the previous case as reference. Yeah, about 3 or 4 more cases. Maybe if I play really slowly, 5 more recording sessions, but I don't think it's gonna take me that many more. We'll see though. In any case though, yeah, what did you think about all the stuff that happened in this recording session? All the plot twists, all the craziness, all the drama, all the heartbreaks, all the, oh my goodness, now they're gonna eat me! Oh my god! I don't know where that came from. Anyway, without further ado though, let's go ahead and end things off here. So, If you like this video, this series of videos, please feel free to leave a like if you thought it was cool. Please feel free to subscribe and join Team Strawberry today. Also follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/MegaShadowFist. I'll be sure to leave that in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is MegaShadowFist signing out. Bye!